What is up, guys? Illinois Outdoorsman, and today for just kind of, I guess, a how-to idiot-proof way, maybe an idiot-proof, yeah. We're gonna make fire. I'm gonna show you guys. So we're gonna show you guys how to make fire using ferrule rod, magnesium block. I've also got these. We might try these out, and I've got a whole plethora of stuff, so stay tuned and let's figure this out. All right, what is up, guys? Today we're going to be building a fire in the fire pit. We're obviously in the backyard, still under quarantine, but camera wants a fire, and I figure, you know what, it's a good video opportunity to show you guys how to use a magnesium block with a flint rod. I've also got a knife that has the rod with it. There's lots of ways you can do it. Yes, a knife. I also have these, which I don't know if we'll use these or not. These are like cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly. They're supposed to balls. Cotton balls, yeah. And then I've got,
what are those?
These are cotton balls. And then I've got dried grass over here, some small little twigs, and then a chunk of log I cut up into small pieces. We're not gonna burn all the way up to the big stuff, but once you get it going, obviously you're putting bigger stuff on to keep fuel going. All right, you guys, so as you can see, my fire pit's disgusting, but it's a fire pit. So I'm right here off to the side. What we're gonna start off with is, obviously, first, best thing would be an axe. I do have a hatchet in the garage, a tree saw, anything you can really cut down chunks of wood. I like an axe. I think this is a 3-pound axe. The blade's a little beat up, but it works for the dried wood that I have. You're gonna cut your logs down into, this is all one log, and I cut it down. I've probably got 30 pieces about this size right now. So, I mean, they're 10, 12 inches long and little bitty ones. We're gonna start off with some dried grass. This is easy enough to find, you guys. If you're out in the woods, you need a fire, and you find an old bird's nest, that's great. Leaves, all that will do phenomenal. You're gonna kind of make a nest down in here, and you're gonna want all these shavings to sit in a nice little pocket. So I've got these 3 slivers of wood that came from when I was cutting. If you guys wanna go all primitive, you can do friction fire, stuff like that. I'm gonna use technology to my advantage. We're not gonna use one of these unless we absolutely have to. So as you can see here, I've placed these 3 pieces of wood as kind of like a little table to catch these shavings on. And then I have a magnesium block with a ferrule striker rod in the top and just a cheap striker that came with it. This is a Coleman brand, you can kind of see it in there. It's just a cheap one. You're gonna scrape off a ton of shavings. This magnesium is gonna burn super, super hot. I wanna say it's something like 3,000 degrees or something like that. But you want your shavings all isolated in the same area. Get a good little pile of them going. So I'm gonna skip through this, you guys, and we'll come back when I have the pile there. It takes a couple minutes, so we'll go ahead and we'll get a pile going in there, and then we'll come back. All right, you guys, I don't know how well you can tell. In here, I've kind of got this covered, a nice, pretty silver coat of shavings. So what we're gonna do without spilling it, we're gonna have this ready to go. You can see it kind of moved up, so I'm gonna stop there. You're gonna take the front side of your ferrule rod, the serrated side. I found on this one works better, but it wears that ferrule rod out pretty quick. So I am gonna have to get another one. But you're going to strike and push your sparks down into your pile. And you're looking for one of them. You see that flare up. And it burns quick. So right now it's just burning kind of just little bits and pieces. I don't think I've got it piled up in there enough, so I didn't want to, but we're gonna break out one of these soaked cotton balls. Little pink thing, it's kind of waxy. You're just gonna break it apart, and these are easier if, what am I trying to say here? They're easier if you don't if you still have a ferro rod, you can light these. They're easier with a lighter, but we're gonna try and light it with a ferro rod. But you're gonna wanna kind of spread this out, get this to open up so it'll really burn. Get it all kind of open and fibery. We're gonna set that in there. They are kind of messy, but it's kind of nature of it. It's petroleum jelly, I think, so it's fairly flammable. As you can see, it takes right off, and they're gonna burn. It's gonna burn for a long time. So what we're gonna do is take your nest. You're going to kind of roll it in here and really get it going. You guys can see we're kind of going there. Next is going to come your small twigs. So you're going to want to get some of these twigs in here. Just get some of them on there so it's got something to start burning on. And then you can kind of try and, as best you can, this is actually burning kind of hot. Get them in there to where they'll really catch. So as you guys can see the fire out here running around. Make sure you do not lose your rod in there. It will go up, it will burn. You will lose it and then you will be kind of out of fire. These wax covered things I got them from Walmart. I think it was like $2 for a pack of 12 of them or something like that. You can make them at home. So as you can see, my fire's kind of gotten to the other stuff I've got in here too, but we're going to focus here in the corner. Get this stuff in here. Get this really starting to burn. All right, so as you guys can see, we're now roaring pretty good and it's really starting to take off. So Cameron, you gonna come help?
Yeah.
We're gonna take some of these logs. Hold on a second, let me get some of these logs in here. We're gonna take some of these bigger ones, and there's multiple, throw it in there. There's multiple ways you can build a fire. You can do the teepee. You can do where you just stack them and you stack them across, which is really more stable for cooking on. So we're just gonna do the teepee just for old time's sake. And this is where it gets kind of hot. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the camera. And you gotta get it just right. Get them to hold up in here without burning the heck out of yourself. And see, I've already kind of smothered it. Well, hold on, Cam. So we do have a couple of logs that are kind of laid down, but they'll burn. Obviously you can see it's getting kind of smoky right now. All right, you guys, I've kind of regrouped here and rebuilt this just so it did stand up. Normally when you would build a teepee like this, you would start off with everything kind of inside. I left it open just so I could show you guys and explain to you guys the steps in building this fire. Right now it is a little smoky. It does look small. It's starting to burn on the inside of this teepee. It will take off. This stuff's super dry. So, I mean, I've got plenty of this little stuff, so
I got this.
Throw it in there. Once you get it kind of going and you get this stuff to really take off and you've got a good hot bed of coals going, you can either cook in the bed of coals or you can go ahead and add bigger logs to it. I mean, if you're done cooking, you just want the fire for just to enjoy it, because everybody enjoys the fire, you can go ahead and add your bigger logs, so adding less fuel to it. But I guess I do still have a little bit of moisture. I can see it kind of bubbling out right here, but for the most part it's fairly dry. It sits outside uncovered all the time. So we will let this get going and then get back to it. All right, you guys, so as you can see here, I've got the fire going. I know it sits down in the fire pit a little bit here, but we've got it starting to burn pretty good. Normally I would let this burn for probably a half hour and keep feeding it the smaller stuff just to really get that bed of coals going, and then start adding the bigger stuff as we go. You can hear it starting to take off and burn that last little bit of moisture out of there. But you guys can use this if you're out on the water, you go on a camping trip, you're floating down the river camping trip, or you're out deer hunting and you need a fire to warm up. Dead of winter, you got a deer, need somewhere to warm up. It's not a bad idea to carry some fire making stuff in your pack, in your bag, in your boat. I keep my bag in my truck, so it's always with me. Now it's really starting to take off, you guys. But overall, fire's really pretty simple to make. Just be safe with it. Make sure you guys, if you're in the woods, make sure you clear out a circle or whatever shape you decide you want for your fire to make sure you're not going to set the woods on fire. And follow your local laws. They're usually there to protect the timber in the woods, everything else. I know like Indiana, you can't have, it's got to be from Indiana, got to have a USDA stamp kind of thing. No bark. They're trying to keep that pine beetle in check. So just make sure you guys know where your wood comes from, if there's nothing in it. Be observant of your fire and make sure you guys are excuse me, make sure you guys are controlling it. You're not out burning the woods down. Don't ruin it for everybody just because you wanted to mess around. But until next time, you guys, make sure if you like this video, you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. And follow me over on Facebook and Instagram. And make sure you guys use the hashtag Illinois_outdoorsman. I'll put it right here across the bottom. Make sure you guys use that so I can see what you guys are doing outside, how you guys are keeping busy, what you guys enjoy. But until next time, you guys, I'll see you out there.